So, live from the co-living space that you have put together,
Yes.
I am here interviewing Claudia from.
Andalucia Nomad Moms.
So, Claudia, I think we should jump straight into it because for me, and all mums, you've organised for us to talk and that literally put our cards on the table. I think we all want to know how this came about.
I'm a journalist, so this is the background. And the last year, I was writing an article about the life of digital nomad people. But was very curious about the dark part because when we see the life of the people on Instagram or we always say beautiful sunset and great food everywhere. But I think that like any life, people can have difficult moments and different things to relate with. So I said, what is the dark part of this beautiful life?
The reality of
the reality.
yes.
And I made a lot of interviews and I found that the main problem is the loneliness. They feel alone. And it is normal because if you travel, it's hard to make friendship and to be with other people and to create deep relationship. So, and but what is the solution? That sometimes people can rent big villas like the one where we are and stay together and spend together 2 weeks and they have something in common. For example, they love hiking or they love surfing, and if you are alone it's very easy. If you have a partner, it's also easy, but it's not so easy if you have children and if you are a mom. And if you are a single mom, it's quite impossible because your needs are a lot. And I think that anybody who wants to take charge of your needs. And so I said, but why? If I'm not a single mom, but I'm a mom. And I think that we as a women, as mothers, we are the most interesting targets that we can find because we live a lot of experience because motherhood is a big journey.
I think that's what's beautiful about when I found out you wasn't a single mum, that you had that insight to create something that was unity, connection, and like-mindedness, but on a wider parameters. Like you said, you've given us excursions and things to buy into, but we don't have to do it if it's not our thing or it's something that we can try. So I think that's a really nice layer that you saw that and then you went straight into build and do something about it. Can I ask you, as we're talking in these beautiful, the villas are beautiful, by the way, absolutely
yes,
stunning. How did you find them? How did you bargain them? Like, let's talk about the hustle. How did you get all of this? And I remember you did say it's out of season, so I knew that had something to do with you getting all of them. But can you tell me how you found these?
But the first idea, it was beautiful, but not so nice. Beautiful, it was to find just one big villa because normally the people do this. They rent a big property somewhere with a swimming pool, of course. But when I started to see for them, there were some that they are very big, close from here. We are in Chiclana, and the villas that I saw was in Roche. That it's like 15 minutes from here, but it's a little bit isolated, and especially in the months that they are not very touristic. And also, I think, and in this, my husband helped me. And he said it can be very, very crazy to have for a long month many kids and many moms with just one kitchen with maybe just 4 bathrooms. So I said, okay, this is true.
That was actually my deciding factor.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good thing that what you initially wanted to do, you found this because you had to find something new. If this was one big house and one big apartment, I think that would have been my non-negotiable. But you've managed to find a cluster of apartments where the opt-in is the communal space. And to hear my kids and not see them is a very profound thing for me. And to know that straight away that all of the mums, I love that you had like the powerhouse schedule, but organically we all kind of got together and the honesty and the trust was there. And the single mum or mums traveling alone, the appreciation was laid down really quickly. So I just knew then someone was like, no, your kids are welcome. Yeah. So just to have that, you really, I don't know if you meant to do it, but you really created that sliding door. You kind of see it on TV, it's fantasy. Yeah. Your kids are running in the grass,
jumping in the pool.
Yeah, in and out and in the pool. And we've all naturally taken an awareness that if we don't see an adult by the pool, someone will come out. And that for me as a single mum, you've given me that tapping person. Can you just for a minute? Can you just watch my kids for a minute, and you can replenish yourself, or I don't know, just have a shower, brush your hair, sit down for a second, just not hear mum. And it's really gone a long way for a lot of us. So I needed to let you know that you really have created something more than just a space. I'm able to turn off, and I'm able to like regroup.
Yeah.
And then when they come back from school, I can really opt in what they are telling me what they want to do. As we know, look at me. But I really want to look at them now because I've got space for myself. So. No, cheers to that.
No, I think that is important because when you offer a co-living, it doesn't have to be a different experience compared with what we normally live. That they are very lonely lives sometimes, but it cannot be stressful.
Yes.
Because you need your space and you need your time and you need your empty mind. And this is what this space, but it's not easy because you have to speak with the real agency, and sometimes the real agency that say, "I know I don't have," or maybe they are worried because you are bringing a lot of kids. And but we were lucky because we have Mr. Pepe that apparently loves the kids.
I was going to say, when you told him how many kids might be coming, did he say, no, he's friendly, we've met him, and he does seem to really enjoy.
No, he's really friendly, but he was worried. And so I said, no, but they are around 10. Yeah, you don't have to say all the truth there. Because if the people doesn't know how the reality is, they judge before.
Yes. So we were all wondering, I think some of us have asked you before, we've had a few inquiries, and how did you go about choosing the right mums? Because as you know, me and Vicky is my amazing co-living housemate who we've just met like in the kitchen for the first time. She's coming. Come and say hi.
Podcast producer.
She's producing the cuppa. She's doing it all. But no, me and Vicky, we are so aligned with everything that we came here for. And what actually first solidified it is we actually went to the local supermarket, and when we started putting the same things in the basket, it was just that moment of, we can do this. And we have dinners together, we cook together, we go out together, and when you say, Vicky, it was effortless. Her son is 3, my son is 7, and my daughter is 5, and it's like a surrogate family. And I'm not sure if everyone has that, but to hit the ground running straight away, to get something like that, it just superseded any. It was almost emotionally exhausting to find that straight away, and not to think, oh, for the first 5 days I've got to navigate around who I may be put with, and are we going to get on? And so to straight away know that all we have to do is get up in the morning, meet at the table, and everything was going to be fine, was a huge relief, and it allowed me to indulge and, like I said, kind of pause more than what I thought I was going to pause here. So yes, Claudia, you're doing great work.
No, thanks. I think that I try to do a good job, but I also think that a lot depends on you.
Yes.
Because you arrive open.
Yes.
And you arrive with the curiosity to know each other. And it's not always possible. Sometimes people are close, even if they decide to come here because they are moved for other things. And other thing that I think that is important, if this project is not just for children. I'm sorry for the children, but we spend all the time thinking about our children. That is normal and it's human. But sometimes we forget about us. So what I try to do is to think in you. And so maybe if I understood, because I spoke with the mothers, but I don't know everything about you before you come. But if I feel that maybe you need a different kind of person with you, or maybe if you are living a different complicated process, I try to put you in the house with someone that I feel that it's more happy, because I really want to think in the others. And so this is the point of my work, because I think that the children have everything. They have a beautiful house, beautiful moms who are worried for them, beautiful educators, beautiful place around. So they need always something, we know. But in this case, I think that you need more. And you also not just needs, but that you deserve.
Deserve and need. So just so you know, Claudia will have a really nice Zoom call with you. You have a nice chat, and I think just as soon as you started speaking and talking, I had already opted in. But remember, I did message you because when I went to my bank to pay, they were like, "Do you know this?" I'm like, "No." Like, "Do you have any idea?" I'm like, "No." So all I actually really did to make this like what's the word, solidify it for me, was I just wanted to know. I just wanted to ask you for your driving license. So I had it have name and address on it. So like, if this woman is a charlatan and she runs away with my money, I know where she is. But anything outside of that, I just saw your energy. I liked the questions you were asking, and then when you sent through like, you know, what do your kids like and what, and I just thought this is simple, but it's nice. And these are the things that I was looking for. What do you care about and who's coming here? And you did.
Yeah.
You
No, what I try to be is honest. For
Yeah.
example, I remember my conversation with Vicky. Vicky's close and she asked me, "Do you want to say something to convince me to come?" And they say, "No, I don't want to say anything to convince me to come. I want that you come if you really want to come. If you want, I can give you a number of Maxine, that she's here again with us, and she has a boy like you. She has 3 years old. So you can compare her situation with your situation and see if what she said to you is what you need."
And that was
but
also,
I don't want to convince you to come because you know if you
and
want.
that was good. You wasn't doing the hard sell, but that was also nice to hear that one of the mums that came to your first one. So this is the second one, by the way.
Yes, this is the second one. We have a first edition last October because we have two, one in the fall and one in the spring. So this is a spring one, and the second and the first one was in October, and that was like a miracle because now we have an Instagram, we have more experience. I can give more numbers. I can give numbers of someone who came. But in the first one, I didn't have absolutely anything. And the first mom who comes, she's from Australia, Kim, and she didn't make me any question. She just paid me the deposit and said, "Oh my God, now I really have to do this." And then of course there are people. I'm happy if someone need a call and want to know me before, but a lot of people doesn't need it. So
really, so was that a big difference between this one and that one? People just said yes, they paid, and then you met them.
No, with some of them I made a call.
Yeah.
And we also with Anna.
Anna, introduce Anna.
Anna is she's my partner in crime in everything. When I had the idea, I thought Anna lives in Cadiz, where we are now, in Chiclana for 3 years.
3 years.
Yes, and then she moved to Asturias, and I miss her a lot. So I said, "And I have idea we can do together if you come back."
So you're definitely coordinating this together.
Yeah. I'm the runner, the helper of the.
No, you are the backbone.
Listen, I'm in the back. I'm taking care of the children. Everything when I be back.
No, and it's the emotional support. Yes. Because the relationships are very strong here and sometimes can be very complicated.
And it's women supporting women. So it was great when you sent out the information. You said, well, Hannah's going to be here. She's going to take this part of it, that part of it. And I was like, just the another continuous layer of what it looks like when you believed in her craziness, didn't you? I can imagine her ringing to go, "We're going to do this. You're going to get involved, and you're slow down."
I think for the first round, it's going to be very complicated to create this co-living, but now I think it's necessary.
It's necessary. I think it's necessary. Absolutely. So, was there anything from the first one? Was there anything from the first one, like, so your positive takeaway, something that made you go, "I'm never doing this ever again"? And was there a family or a situation that really stuck in your heart and really solidified it and something great for mums and kids?
Yeah, I have to say that in this second we made something that was very good. So we have like story sharing in the first week. And it helped us a lot to know each other.
Yes, it did.
Last time, I was convinced that it was not necessary because people just be together, they speak, but it's not. I realized
interesting. Okay.
I realized so. For last time, I think that the more emotional moment was the end when we take a breakfast all together. It was, I suppose, it was like a rainy morning, and we were there in pajama with our cafes, and we talk about what's happened. And that was very important. But now we did it at the beginning.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. So it was perfect because it was, okay, here we are. Hi, this is who I am. and this is what you can you will see for a month. And last time I was quite sure because but it's not so obvious, also because you are a lot at the end, you are 10 people, so maybe you can create a very fast connection with someone and not with someone else, and maybe you always ask why, but maybe that people has a story that you don't know.
So from the first one, would you say that people connected and they kind of stuck together because it was more organic, not in a group? What's the difference between connecting on the second day, like we did here, to how people connected in the first one?
No,
did they not at all?
No, they did, but it was something that I leave to just to them. I didn't help.
Yes,
I didn't help, and this was my fault. But because I was convinced that these things, I don't come to say, "Hi Sam, why don't you speak with Vicky about you?" Because maybe you are not ready to do this. And I think that the first conversation that we had the first week was super deep.
Yes,
everybody said something that was very private,
very deep.
Yeah, and so when I spoke with a friend of mine that she's a coach and she's a psychologist, she said that means, Claudia, that they feel safe,
yes.
And this is important.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Everyone felt safe, everyone felt seen, everyone felt heard, and there's nothing wrong to sit down and say, because on paper you should be able to say these to friends and family, but they're not always equipped to come back to you with what you may need or feel or think. But everything resonated around the table, whether we had felt it or lived it or not. We could see them, and we recognise as single mums, and trying to organise yourself as well as trying to be there and right for your children. So that first, and everyone was so honest.
Yeah.
There was no superficial, surface level conversation, and that allowed us all to check in and buy in with each other. We say, Vicky, on like the second day. So the rest of the time was easy because we all really knew, really got the nuts and bolts of a person. We really knew what everyone was all about, what they were dealing with, what they were trying to manage, what they did and didn't know. And there was a shared, not, I wouldn't say loss because we all gathered here, but a shared reason to gather here and a bravery, even though we all still came to find some kind of answers and roots within ourselves. So that was a really powerful.
No, because sometimes you judge on the superficial.
Yeah.
But without So I think that this is important because otherwise it's like what I don't want. This is why the program is 1 month. Is because this is not an holiday.
Yeah.
When you come here, I like that you live our everyday life because it's a beautiful place and the life is very easy and nice. But also because I wanted to leave the others for how they really are. Because on holidays we are always happy and everything is fun and everything is fast. And now,
we are co-living. We are,
and we have time to do everything. Also, to do or to not to do nothing.
Not to do. I'm definitely some of the not to do. But it's fine, isn't it? And it's nice for those that want to go and do that, they come back and they share what they did. So it's almost like you kind of was there anyway. And some days you just kind of, the kids go off to school and you might just want to sleep. Oh, and we get the fantastic massage lady that comes and she sets up in the villas. So all you have to do is just go upstairs to bed if you want to shut down and go to sleep, or come and sit by the pool and just take it all in. So there's so many layers of well-being for us. So you definitely achieved that by thinking of the children and from us. Now, was there anything you could share? Was there anything that kind of made you go at any moment?
Never do this again. No, nothing, but because I'm not this kind of person. If I did something, it's because I did, and so I cannot come back. And if I make another mistake, it's because I have to do another mistake. So nothing that I did, but no, that is one thing that is important. Maybe can be very silly, but last time, what I did, it was that you just have one child. You could have a room upstairs because the villas are 2 floors.
Yes.
And so downstairs, I usually try to give the room to the people who want just one child, or they are very small, because there are the stairs, and the stairs can be a problem for someone, even if we put the gate. But anyway. And upstairs, there are 2 rooms. So last time, if you have one child, you can have one room and another one room. Well, that what means that people have to share the bathroom. When you say to the people that can share the bathroom. They say, no problem. But then when you are here and live for 1 month, that could be a problem. So I never do it again. I didn't do it again.
Oh, is that what you did in the first one? People were sharing?
Yeah, but they know, but it was like, okay, no, don't worry. But when you are in your home thinking that what should be, no, it will be fine. But it's not. And I totally understand.
You sent me the option because there was two first things was, I remember was like, can you clarify? When you say together, we're all in one place.
Yeah.
But then when you showed me the split, and I was like, yes, my bedroom's here, you've got the bathroom, and whoever's going to be downstairs. So it's a really nice design of space and privacy, but we can meet together when
when you want to.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine being in my bedroom there, someone there, and we were trying to get in that bathroom.
Yeah. But so I never do it again. I didn't. And I think that is important to have also the feedback.
Yeah.
And that was I think that was the only thing. And so now I prefer to give more space because to less people because it's necessary for the well-being of everybody.
Yeah, I think that's worked out really well.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with some of the activities?
The activities, this is a selfish project. So basically I do, and I try to offer to the moms what I like to do. So and I've never done. So for example, this time we had a friend of mine, she's a singer, and I always wanted to sing, but I'm very bad. So I said, why don't you come for a couple of days of voice lab and we can do together. So what I'm trying to do is to find professional person, because sometimes people say, I love to work with kids, I'm good in art. Yeah. And then we stay 2 hours painting or something. So what I want to do is to find professional people who made this like their real job and to bring the people here.
What's her name? Let the people know, because she was lovely. What's the singing teacher's name?
Mila. Yeah, she's lovely. So she came for 2 days. Then we had Africa. She's a choreographer, she's a dancer, and she's had a lot of shows. So always people that really knows about their job and really can do something that is just not to repeat something that you always do, but try to adapt to the situation. Or the circus that the kids made. Roman is a man who work in the circus. Really,
that circus was absolutely amazing, and he did really well, because as soon as he put that stuff down, the kids were just he was like, and he managed to organize them to put the mat out as if it was a puzzle. I did. I'm going to be honest. I stood back. I was like, "How is he going to manage all of this?" He just besieged him, picking up all of his stuff. But no.
But this time I didn't say to it that it was 19. They're not in the group, like group. So I didn't say the number.
He handled them well, and they had a lot of fun, and that was something different.
Yeah. And now this is what I try to do, and also I really have to really understand if it's a very full program, maybe too much or not. It's less than the last year, because sometimes people need also free time. But what I noticed that if you also for me, if I force myself to do something that I want to do, maybe I'm lazy that morning and I don't want, you procrastinate a lot. But if you try to force you a little bit, then what you have back, it's a lot. For example, I remember Agnes. Do you want to say hi?
From here.
Agnes, we made a dinner. I think that was the second week.
Yeah.
And when she arrived, she said, I wasn't my coach. And it was very well there. They're relaxing, and I say, now there is a dinner. I have to go to the dinner, but now I'm so happy because I'm here with you talking. So this is something that maybe you don't want, because in that second you feel very, very well, but after the second can be very boring. So if you force a little bit, you have a beautiful dinner with beautiful women, with a beautiful chat.
Changes your perspective on it. It's
nice. And you take the energy from the others, even if you don't have. So
definitely. So when is your next?
It should be next October. So if anyone wants to come, it's welcome. If anyone wants to come back,
all the details will be below. Are you going to have the same number in the villas?
Yes, for me the minimum is 6. because I think for a financial reason, because I have to pay the villas, the educators, or the people here, someone thinks that they are volunteers. They are not volunteers. Or the people who are here, it's a job to be an educator. You have to trust them.
Oh, yeah, of course, you pay. How did you find them? We can't forget.
Yeah, this is what's
about educators. My children, well, everyone's children, we love the educators. So
they are
what are their names? How did you find them?
So last time, the first time, we have one pillar that is Maricella. That it was a miracle. I put an advertising in some group like alternative school, forest school, and a friend of her saw the advertising that we were hiring, and Marichelle doesn't have any social network, and she sent them to her. And in that moment, exactly, she was living in UK and she wanted to come back to Spain. So she said, "This can be perfect." So we made an interview. We done quite like 3 interviews, but she was perfect. And so she decided to come, and she wanted to come back now. And so this is the pillar. Last year we have another girl, so she was very good, but now of course what we offer is 1 month. So if you need a job for all the year, it's not,
can't do it.
Yeah, you can. So we change, even if last time we were very happy with Marta. And so I went to work away, where you can find volunteers, but also offer paid job. And I start to read all the profiles of everyone to see if someone speaks Spanish, English, if I had a real experience with children, not just I like children. And I sent a message to them, and I made some interviews. And at the end, I think that what has to happen happens. So some of them they cannot come. Another one, she just can stay for 2 weeks. That was not good for the kids. And so finally we have Sofia, that she's a musician and she's lovely and she always sings. When there's a problem, she sings and it works a little bit like you're a saint. It was possible. And Paula, that is very active, and she's also very, very nice.
They've all got their different dynamics. So Sophia, who she first mentioned, she actually babysat for myself and Agnes, whilst Agnes and Vicky went out for lunch. And just to have that extra layer as well, where the kids returned back around 2 o'clock and she stayed until 5, and we were able to not rush back. Well, there's no rushing here, and we all laughed because we were walking at such a ridiculously slow pace with our full bellies and big smiles but we knew our children were looked after and they were having fun, and that was a really nice layer that we could opt in to have someone that's not only educating our children and we trust and they like. We can have some extra and
no, those for them.
Have we missed anyone? Who is cooking the delightful menu? There's catering. You don't even have to cook if you don't want to.
My husband. The truth is that we have a girl for the first time, and she was a cooker. But she was in the US and she came back in the second week. So last time I have the first week that where normally people needs more because you just arrive, because maybe you don't know exactly where is you are tired. So the first week was without anyone. So I said to my husband, "You will be." My husband is a photographer, but
now turn chef.
Yeah, but it has a very sense of colors and composition, and so it's perfect because I want, of course, that the food is good, but also that it's nice. And then when the cooker came back from US, she got a COVID, and I said, "No, I don't need a pandemic of COVID in the villas. Thank you so much." And so Mirko did it again, and he was very happy. He really enjoyed because they go to the market, he buy the things. We had a beautiful bakery, so he goes there, and he really spent a month because but he's happy and the food is good.
It's good, and it was necessary as well, because as I was looking at when I was going to land and get here, and I didn't know obviously where anything local was, and I just already knew to pick my battles to try and put my kids here and then to go out wasn't going to happen. So to know that there was food going to be kind of delivered, and if we wanted to continue, that was an option.
Yes, but for the first day can be really helpful, or for the last one because you don't want to cook or
buy stuff.
Yeah. So no, what we try is to offer all the service that can make your life easier. Or for example, what you said about the educators, she are able to stay more. So, but what I noticed this time is that it's you're really helpful between you. Yes. So you just ask for babysitting if it's really necessary. Maybe you want to go outside together, but otherwise you didn't need so much because you are here around all the time and there is no problem. I'm late, can you? And Vicky, yes, don't worry. A package has arrived.
Someone's here, the Amazon man is here. Yeah.
Yes. So you didn't need so much, but this is what I wanted. That kind.
I think that's a really nice way to end our interview, because I think that actually sums up what co-living is. What I hoped, what I got, is the educators babysitting is a second layer to tap into. The fact that we can run to the supermarket or just pop out, doesn't even matter what it is, go to sleep, just shut the door, that we know that our kids are okay in any one of the 7 villas. And there's also a layer of, what are they, between 12 and 14? There's some older kids here who are absolutely amazing and have taken it upon themselves as well to be around and to keep an eye on the kids, which has created a really nice second layer of trust and familiarity. And I will leave here knowing what is right, what looks right, what feels right, what is right for me. And it's okay to take time for myself. But my non-negotiable was, it couldn't just be my kids were just anywhere doing anything so I could have time. We had to meet in the middle. It had to be as much substance for them as it was substance for me, or no substance for me going to bed. So when we do meet, and I have to say, one of the things that my kids really enjoyed is that it wasn't just about them having to go and meet new people. They saw that mum had to come and meet new people. So we were talking about, they would talk about the kids because they were with them all day, and I would talk about the mums that I'd met. So there was that, not I'm big, you're small, you're going off to summer school and you're the one that's going to have to get to know people and find your way. It was a unified experience of unknown, and that's gone a long way with my children. So I have to say that if you want to get involved in co-living, the details will be at the bottom in the caption. And Claudia is amazing, and I recommend this to everybody. Claudia, thank you very, very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Sam. It was beautiful to have you here and to make this interview. I was very honored because I work in the TV, but in the past. So it was nice to speak again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And to be here, for being here.
And if you want to follow on and hear more interviews from co-living, from world schooling,